I guess as good as it's going to get, dude.
All right. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, as we come on air tonight, we do so in support of the leader of the infection team and his family in the wake of tragedy. Late Monday night in Florida City, Florida, Maddie's niece, Maryann Carducci, was struck and hit by a hit-and-run driver as she rode her bicycle and died as a result of the injuries she sustained. Authorities continue to search for a suspect in this heinous act as we come to you asking that you share our show in hopes of furthering their efforts to bring justice for Maryann, the daughter, the niece, the mother that was so tragically injured and left to die in the streets of her Florida City neighborhood. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh at the world burning around us. With executive producer Mike Latoris. We'll do an intro, we'll do an outro, and then do our wrap. BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden.
Makes me tingly in an unfamiliar way.
And the Scorpion Goddess.
I'm a Scorpio, but secretive. I just don't say a lot of shit.
And now, spreading the sage nihilism of an aged Gen Xer, your host and mine, the star of our show, the incomparable Maddie Rockdeath.
I had no, but I was, I kind of wanted to, and whoa, that's new.
Hello, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. This is by far the hardest piece of public performance that I have ever tried to pull off. But this is probably by far the most important show I've ever done or ever going to do. On episode 90 of my podcast, the lead story is the suspicious death of my sister's youngest child. Her name is Maryann Carducci. Her friends called her Mac. She had a family that loved her, and she had a home with her mother in New Jersey. But she was determined to live life her way. I don't want to sugarcoat the truth, and I'm not going to speak ill of her this evening. But she was living as a homeless woman, and I'm sure participating in the type of acts that you would expect homeless people to participate in order to survive. Mike has the story ready. Mike, would you please? Do we have the video?
I do have. I have one story from the Miami Herald that I'm going to read through, and then I do have the video piece that ran on CBS locally in Florida City, because I believe there's some important information and some important video there that we'll run after I get through this. A woman was struck and killed Tuesday by a hit-and-run driver in Florida City, police said. It happened shortly after 12:30 a.m. in the area of West Lucy Street and Southwest 1st Avenue, according to Miami Herald News partner CBS4. The woman was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead, according to Miami-Dade Police, which is handling the investigation. The woman who is homeless was riding her bicycle when she was struck and left for dead, a friend told CBS4. TV news video showed a bicyclist on the ground in the area. Detectives are searching for clues on who struck her. Anyone with information that can help with the investigation is asked to call police. And from here, we'll move on to where I can share my screen, because this news report does contain some images from a Ring doorbell camera that caught some of the
She was on a bicycle and she got hit from behind.
Now at 5, a woman loses her life after being struck by a hit-and-run driver. Now witnesses coming forward with clues.
Can you describe the vehicle that hit her?
It was a gray CRV Honda.
Tonight, CBS 4 is live with the latest on this deadly hit-and-run. And tonight, police say the woman who was hit was experiencing homelessness.
And that shortly after the impact, the driver made a U-turn, looked at the victim, and then took off again. CBS 4's Peter Dench joins us live from the neighborhood where this happened with the latest on the investigation. Peter.
Well, Elliot and Lauren, we could tell you that neighbors are hoping they can help police with this case. They say the victim was a homeless woman who was known to ride her bicycle through this neighborhood. And a witness told us that the car struck her, dragged her, and then took off.
I'm hurt. You understand? I'm hurt.
Ebony Hush says her friend lost her life while riding her bicycle in Florida City. Good Samaritan Jermaine Williams tried to help her.
I see somebody laying like that and get ran over. First, I didn't know what it was, and I experienced some fever. She just laying there hopeless.
The victim was airlifted to a hospital but did not survive.
We call her Mac. I understand she didn't have any family. You know, she wasn't a bad person. Actually, she had just got that bike yesterday.
Well, she's just a homeless person. She's a good girl. She don't mess with nobody.
Now neighbors hope this ring cam video will provide some clues in the deadly hit-and-run crash from late Monday night. They say it shows a vehicle backing up and then going forward right after the victim was struck at Northwest 1st Avenue and 16th Street. Jermaine Williams was working nearby.
She was on a bicycle and she got hit from behind. And then eventually got ran over because she never stopped.
Did the car drag her?
Yes.
How far did the car drag her?
About 10 feet.
And then the car returned?
Yeah, went to the stop sign, did a U-turn, came back and rolled past and kept going.
Female driver?
Yeah.
It's a shame. I mean, for someone to leave somebody, an innocent person like that.
The crash happened right next to Diane Waterman's home.
I feel bad because if she was struggling and she homeless, you know, trying to make it in life. She's trying to make it. It's just sad.
Strong words there from Diane Waterman, who is also a pastor. Now, Miami-Dade police say they could not confirm what the witness was saying about the driver being a woman or the make and model of the car. And if you can help, call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. There is a reward of up to $5,000. We're live in Florida City. Peter Dench, CBS 4 News.
I've tried all day.
Now it's 6.
I've tried all day to write down like my comments about what this video is, because that's basically watching what happened to my. You can't really see it; it's not graphic, but the victim's mother spoke with the coroner to the Miami-Dade this morning. It is confirmed that it was the person that we assumed that it was. A lot of people were kind of stuck in denial, hoping that it was a different Mac. Not many women go by Mac. It's not a common female. So and Maryann Carducci, and she's carried that with her. I think she got that in high school. Picking up Mac. But it was a gray CRV, so be on the lookout if you're in the Miami-Dade County and you have a friend who needs front end work on a gray CRV or something that looks kind of like a gray CRV. Call it. It might be worth $5,000. 305-471-TIPS. And turn the fuck in because this was, in my opinion, this was a murder. And whether it you could start rationalizing that it started out as an accident. Maybe maybe this person was really drunk or really high or whatever. But to look at someone bleeding on the ground and then to keep going, that right there, in my opinion, is murder. I want to thank Peter Dochek. How do you say that reporter's name? Just the reporter. What's that?
Dench.
Peter, I'm sorry. I apologize to Peter Dench. I wrote it down and then tried to pronounce it instead of listening. Thank him for doing a news story on a homeless woman getting killed. I think that's real news that people should be covering. A lot of times people will ignore. My heart goes out to Ebony and thank you to Jermaine. That's all I have to say about it, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
Like I told you last night, we're here for you. I wanted this to be the A block because I think
Yeah.
it's important enough that it gets its own segment. And
Well, here's the thing is if we tried to ignore it, if I tried to not mention it or not talk about it at all, I would have tried to mask the whole show because this is like yesterday. Like I found out about more than 12 hours ago, but about 13 or 14 hours ago, I found out about this. And what it is, man, is yeah, she was homeless and she was, she had her demons, she had her addictions, her children were adopted out. But there was that hope that dies, that loss of reconciliation. You kind of hope for reconciliation. You hope for that prodigal son, prodigal daughter type of and that was taken away, and that was taken away on purpose. And someone would be hard pressed. And I am literally, I started the show so I could be the devil's advocate. I am the devil's advocate. I will advocate for the devil. No, but I will look at all sides. I would look at all sides from any perspective I can possibly look at it from. There are some perspectives that I am in imaginary land when I try to think of, but I try to think about that. Like when I used to go visit my friend, he lived with he was Irish. So he lived with his elderly mother, right? He was in his 40s, and I mentioned he was Irish, but I go visit him. But if I knocked on the door and she were to answer, I would always stand like way back. But then she'd get pissed off at me because I'd have to raise my voice because she was half fucking deaf. So she would get all pissed off. That woman got pissed at me no matter what the fuck I did.
Oh,
no matter how polite I try.
You did say she's Irish.
She's Irish. That explains it. But I like when I was 400 pounds, like I tried to understand that I intimidate people no matter whether I want to or not. I'm 6'3" and I'm 400 pounds.
Yeah.
I am an intimidating human being, and I can legitimately scare people, and not mean to. Sure. I remember in high school, there was this little girl. And when I say that, she was older than me. She was an upperclassman. She was a senior, and I was like a fucking junior. And I said something to somebody else, and it was it was all in jest. I wasn't, you know what I mean? And she looked at me, was like, "I'm not afraid of you." I was like, "Holy fuck." I was like, "I didn't think you were." I was just fucking around. Because I learned you don't fuck with the short women ever. They strike fast, and they strike hard. They're like fucking cats. You understand what I'm saying?
Short people in general.
Short people in general, but short women, I've noticed, especially if you're large, they think it's almost like they can't hurt. They think they can't hurt you, so they'll, you know what I mean? Because you're so big. Yeah. So they, dude, my sister has given me a couple shots, like right to the solar plexus, like right here. Cause she's in a chair. She's in a chair. Right. So it's always when I'm standing next to her, and the word, and now I'm getting a little sensitive to the word cripple when people say cripple. And I said, this was a long time ago, and she fucking wham and missed my nuts. Thank God, but hit me right in the gut. So yeah, especially, they're handsy people.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Yeah. But let's reiterate some of the details. I guess police are looking for a gray CRV type vehicle.
Yep.
And apparently it was a female driver. I don't know if that was.
That's not been according to the reports. That's not been confirmed, but that is what the guy who was
the eyewitness. Yeah. The eyewitness claims it was a female driver. That might have been just his own preconceived notions. Like somebody hits a bicycle, like, oh, that must be a chick.
It's a possibility.
You know what I mean?
But,
because
conceivably he was close enough to see.
I mean, that's true. That is true. And what is it? 305-471-TIPS. If you hey, if that bitch that lives downstairs, you see notice her headlights kind of cracked, give him a call. You know what I mean? What's it hurt? It could mean you $5,000. That's what it could do to you. $5,000. So, but more than the purpose of this is for me to purge, get it out of the way, so I can mask properly for 2 more blocks, and kind of so that everybody kind of knows what the headspace that I'm in at the moment.
Also, I just want to put out there, share this show. We don't have a
Please.
whole lot of information, but we're giving out some information. We're giving out the number for Crime Stoppers in Miami-Dade County, where this incident took place. If you know something, you can give a tip. And if you share our show, who knows? You might end up getting it to somebody who knows something. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, and I think that
in the day of social media, we don't know exactly how far our networks go, and sometimes 2 or 3 hops and you get there much quicker than you think. So share us.
Yeah, share the show up, or just share that YouTube clip that was, or just keep your eyes out. Tell people 305-471-TIPS. Just if you're in the Miami-Dade County, just keep your eyes open. For that woman can't drive, and then Crime Stoppers. Right, there you go.
All right,
that's good for me now. Let's shut it down.
All right, so when you're done calling 305
305-471-TIPS.
When you're done calling that, you can call 1-646-VIRUS-01. Reach us here at the Media Virus Podcast, and you can talk to us. We're headed for our B block. In our B block today, we're going to go and do a segment that we haven't done for a while because we've collected a bunch of articles, and we're going to talk about shit in space. We'll get Just the Tips, and then we'll move on to C block, where Matt has fed us a great video of a Republican who has decided to get out there on the campaign trail and really make a name for himself. And we get another Bill on Film movie review. We'll be back right after this on the Media Virus Podcast.
How's that?
Worse.
Much worse.